Experts estimate that we have anywhere between 50,000 and 80,000 thoughts a day. So even on the low end, that's over 2,000 thoughts an hour. And you know that thoughts lead to actions. Sometimes those automatic thoughts lead nowhere. Like it's just like, oh, look, that's a pretty color. Like it doesn't necessarily go anywhere. Sometimes those automatic thoughts are negative. And so they can lead to a negative action. Sometimes those automatic thoughts are positive and they can lead to a positive action. Recently, I was training with a board that I really admire. They always seem to have each other's backs. And that I was like, man, how did they build this culture? This is an amazing experience. And so we were in there training about conflict and productive conflict. And one of the underlying tenets is that in order for organizations to continue to grow and produce great things, there needs to be some productive conflict going on. Because if everyone always thinks the same thing, then you end up with the same thing. So you want different ideas and different opinions. So we're having these conversations about how your automatic thought can lead to either a destructive response when it comes to conflict or a productive response when it comes to conflict. We started digging in on these automatic thoughts. And I was surprised, as were the other members of the board, when a number of the board members shared that one of their automatic thoughts is that she doesn't trust me. She doesn't believe I can do it. Now, again, remember, from the outside looking in at this board, it seemed like they had each other's back and they were really cohesive. And there was still that automatic thought of, she doesn't trust me, she doesn't have my back. And that thought led to a number of people choosing on the board where their top 3 ways that they deal in conflict was to withdraw. Thought is, she doesn't trust me, she doesn't think I can do it, led to just moving and removing self from the situation. And so when you're working with a team and people are removing themselves from the situation, it's easy to just assume that everyone's on the same page and everyone has the same idea and they're all in agreement. Yet it doesn't necessarily mean that at all. It could just mean that they don't want to deal with the drama. They don't want to deal with the conflict. And again, when you approach conflict in a productive way, when you change your mindset from she doesn't trust me, she doesn't think I can do it, to I wonder what she needs in order to feel more comfortable in the situation. How can I make this situation work for both of us? Withdrawal is no longer the solution. Now the solution is talking it out. We're digging in to find out what is the root of the discomfort. Knowing how your teams react in conflict, productively and not productively, and knowing what some of their automatic thoughts are is crucial when you're trying to build that cohesive unit. Because when the team is cohesive, the end results are better. And from an efficiency standpoint, it happens so much easier and so much quicker. Because our goal is to be effective and efficient all the time. And one way to do that is to understand what motivates people. And how do they react in conflict? And what do they do? What are their automatic thoughts? All of that. So I invite you to have a conversation with your team. When there's a period of conflict, what do you default to thinking? What do you default to doing? And how can we work to make that a different experience? So I invite you, post below, what are your automatic thoughts when it comes to conflict? Mine is absolutely a feeling of she doesn't get me. How could she think that about me? Whatever it is, that's my go-to. And then mine is absolutely to avoid. I will do anything I can not to have the conversation about the conflict. So I'd love to know, what are some of your automatic thoughts? What are some of the productive ways you deal with conflict? And what are some of the unproductive ways you deal with conflict? Because I promise you, conflict on teams is healthy when handled the right way.